Chukunema. Chionyemonu. Igwe, Igwe. Only you are God. Igwe, Igwe. Only you are God. Yes, you reign. Yes, you reign in all the earth. Yes, you reign, God. Yes, you reign. Yes, you reign. Yes, you reign. Yes, you reign. Yes, you reign in all the earth. Yes, you reign, God. Yes, you reign. Yes, you reign. Yes, you reign. Only you are God. Igwe, Igwe. Only you. Only you are God. Igwe, Igwe, Igwe. Only you are God. Only you are God. Igwe. Oh, no one like you. Are God. Oh, what a Father I have in you. Oh, what a Father I have in you. Always available when I call your name. Oh, what a Father I have in you. Oh, what a
All right, so 12 minutes has gone past 10 and you're still listening to Today 95.1 FM. Of course, I did say it's going to be an extra Saturday morning. I do have a guest and I know it's very unlike me to have a gospel music at this time, but my guest particularly wanted gospel music and you should see how it affected him. There's something about music really, and especially the ones that you connect with. He seemed to glow and well, I learned something new today. So now I know if I need you to glow next time, so I'll just play gospel music. Good to have you in the studio, Dr. Samson Parker, former Commissioner for Health, River State. Great to have you here. I'm pretty excited.
Thank you, Annie.
So first of all, let me ask, just on the side, what is it about gospel music?
It inspires me. This world is all about God. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people refuse to understand that this world is all about God. And nothing was made that was not made by Him.
By Him.
So all persons, all tribes, all beliefs should exalt God at all times.
I like that.
At all times.
I like that. It's pleasing. Okay, so and I noticed you came in, nose mask, everything. As doctor, I didn't expect any less from you. So real quickly here, I think you were commissioner, yes, when we were dealing with Ebola.
Yes,
you were commissioner when we were dealing with Ebola. So let me just quickly get because for us to, again, this is a huge pandemic. It set us back in so many ways, changed our orientations and the way we've, actions and what we used to do. What do you think about coronavirus, and how do you think we've been dealing with it as a government?
Oh, one of the reasons I wanted to speak really to come out and talk is because of this coronavirus and how it's being handled. I'm not very happy about it. And because, yes, the federal government is doing the best, the NCDC is doing their best, the Federal Ministry of Health is doing what they know is their best. But you can only work according to your understanding and your inspiration to tackle this, and the passion behind it, and what you stand to gain or lose behind it. And it's a bit unlike the way we handled Ebola. There was passion at that time. Yes, the coronavirus is new. Even the best of technologies and civilizations are confused about it.
Yeah.
But we have stayed with it for almost a year now, and so we should be looking at it. It seems we are going backwards in the challenge, the Ebola challenge. We are going backwards, and it is time that we go back to the first principles of medicine and attack all this. It's like a warfare now. The first battle, we had lost it.
And here we are with the second now.
Now we are the second one. Yes, we started with worship song. Maybe we should go back there.
To God.
To God first. Because the persons we'll be looking up to
are failing.
The WHO, we've always looked up to WHO, WHO rules. Oh, this is WHO rule. Oh, this is like WHO statement. This is gold standard, diamond standard. They've all failed.
Yeah.
They've all failed. Europe is on its knees. America is on its knees. All over Asia, Asia is hiding somewhere. A lot of information somewhere and all the rest. Nigeria, we are helpless.
Wow.
The funny thing is that it's taking time for even the people to understand what we are into.
What we're dealing with.
That means that sensitization is not enough. Unlike Ebola, we took the preaching to every nook and cranny of the communities. I personally went to every local government area, met with all the stakeholders to tell them, look, this is what we are facing.
This is what we
This is what we want to do. This is how you will help us do it. It's not what we want you to do. This is what
your help towards this
your help towards this fight. Maybe your own is to pour water, maybe washing your hand. You could remember those days I used to sing with children, wash your hand every day and all the rest. It caught up. It caught up that there is something.
Indeed.
Here, we are still dealing with surveillance in coronavirus. Wow. We are still talking about collecting samples, going to a center to test. And this, first of all, this is a primary health care concern. What we are dealing with is a primary health care concern. First principles. We don't have to centralize it. Testing, vaccination is a primary health care concern. All we need to do is to strengthen the primary health care system. Again.
But I mean, there are a lot of people who already believe that the primary healthcare system has failed and is non-existent.
Why is it failed? Why has it failed? Why has it failed? If it has failed, so we should go and rest. You say the soldiers in the warfield have failed. So what do? We should all raise our hands and surrender. That is the part that will play the game. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no if or but. We must organize a primary healthcare system. Immediately, we must recruit people into the primary healthcare system.
There was something Bill Gates said recently concerning this coronavirus. He said Nigeria should manage the vaccines that are being brought in, I think, under the WHO and Gavid, the ones that they're bringing to Africa. Perhaps utilize that instead of taking her money to buy more vaccines. Bill Gates said instead of taking that amount of money to buy vaccines, they should plunge it into the healthcare system as we have now, perhaps to fix the healthcare system instead of using the money to buy vaccines.
If you ask me, we have not even reached the time of vaccines. We have not reached where we will be discussing vaccines. Who will administer the vaccines in the first place? Who will store the vaccines? How will we store the vaccines?
But we've always vaccinated here.
This is bigger than what we are talking about. It's bigger than the childhood disease vaccines, which we manage one way or the other. I know how that is done. This is bigger than that. But the good news is there is a way out. One way, sensitization of the people. We must invest in sensitization.
Heavily.
Down the line. 2, we must invest in testing. Testing should be made available and it should be accessible to everyone concerned to go in and test. It's simple. You go in, you test. As you are here, you are going back home. You could go to and say, look, I feel funny. Let me test. And you test and it's positive. You isolate yourself. When you go, you tell your children, please stay away from me. And all of you here, go and test. And we don't have to wait for the vaccines. We can do things ourselves. A virus is always thermolabile. That is not a very strong organism. Heat kills it. It's heat sensitive. Our local ways of doing things of steam inhalation and washing of hands. I don't know why people are even resisting wearing masks.
Nose masks.
and all the rest. It's because of sensitization, I believe.
Yeah.
So government is not investing where we should invest at this time. The NCDC yesterday, the task force, the National Incident Coordinator said, oh, what we are facing now is worse than what we had before.
Earlier.
That is admission of failure. That is admission of failure. That means we must review our strategies. We must call people with experience. Those guys that have fought the Ebola battle, come into the place. Come. What do we do?
How did you do
How do we do that? What do we do? You don't have to rewind the wheel.
All right. Okay, I pretty much get the thoughts here from you concerning it. But then, very quickly, because I know lots of people out there who don't believe that coronavirus is real. Please, what do you have to say to those group of people?
Look, people today are getting to understand. Because one family, almost every family is losing somebody now. The other day, yesterday, 2 days ago, I was in Abuja at the reference laboratory. They have a center for testing there. And I saw before now, our brothers from the north were not going for testing. They didn't believe at all. I saw troops of them going in, women in their coverall jihadis, going for testing because it's free. You just go in there
and get tested.
Molecular testing, not the rapid diagnosis test. Well done. If it's there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there. That is what we should have decentralized. In the primary care centers, in the hospitals. Anybody should go in and test.
All right, then.
Government should invest in that.
Okay, Dr. Sampson. We got your position on that. And let's get a little to part of you and your history. Obviously, you're Dr. Sampson Parker. A lot of people will accredit you more to your medical history and see you in that light, and not much of a politician. How do you balance the two?
I've always said that medicine can only be successively and efficiently applied through good politics and governance. We're talking about Ebola now. What are we talking about? Who will implement testing? It's the government. If you don't have a good leader, all these things I'm saying is balderdash. Look at River State, for instance. It's different from federal government. You saw how the governor came out like a commander of an army.
In the first wave.
The first wave. And they were criticizing him. I was in Abuja then. I wasn't even, had not even come into PDP at that time. And I was very proud of him. He was doing all he could do. I saw him, they were fumigating the streets. They were trying to get people restricted, getting down this. Now, are they not all going back to that? We're at that point now he was shouting about. That was forward thinking. That is not if others were doing the way he was doing, or we're doing that. And I want to encourage him to go back to that. Because we are still his citizens and his subjects. No matter who criticizes him, he should go back to that. This is serious. What we are facing is serious.
It's worse than the first.
It's not going to be the last wave.
Oh, dear.
Yes, if we continue like this, we are going to stay with it for some time. I'm sorry, I'm not a prophet of doom.
But this is
the reality. This is the reality. If you don't listen, the other day, yesterday I was coming back, there was a crusade. I'm a Christian. I believe I'm a Christian. Whether other people don't believe that. I am. I love God. I love the things of God. I saw a crusade all packed together on the streets. Just yesterday, there was an executive order. And this is happening before me. These are people that we are taught to respect and obey the authorities.
The authorities.
But nobody's disobedience everywhere, even when it concerns them. It's only when it's physical. If they hear some young boys shooting Bobo, that crusade will scatter.
Okay.
But we have more lethal weapons on the streets that because we can't see that we don't believe.
All right. Okay. So you mentioned the fact again that medicine can only best be practiced when you've got good governance in place, and that's where you're able to juggle politics and medicine in your life. You also mentioned that there was a period before you moved back to PDP. So I'll take you back to those few times.
Okay.
When you were commissioner for health, how did the government policies in that time help you carry on with the policies you wanted to see transform the health ministry here in River State?
You see, that I will give credit. Really, first, I will give glory to God. Secondly, I had the huge support of my constituency. That is the medical sector, the doctors, the nurses, the lab people, and most importantly, the support of the governor at that time. And I remember the day we came, oh, now you're going to be the commissioner. So what? Go and do this. I said, Your Excellency, this is what I want to do. We must build from the foundation, and that is primary health care. And he said, okay, you are the commissioner for health. Do. I went to bring my program. I presented to the ESCO, and it was approved that we will pursue it. So anything about that, I said, look, if I fail, it's my fault
on you.
now. So I decided to pursue everything vigorously and passionately. And I probably am a man of passion in what I believe in.
Yeah.
And I tried to pursue until when we started having political challenges. You saw that it started coming down. That's why it says politics affects medicine.
Medicine, yeah.
When the political battles started facing us, everything we did started withering away. So that is why we need to. So essentially, that is it.
All right, then. So, but during the period when you think you had the support and perhaps there wasn't too much political challenges going on then, how well do you think you thrived in that ministry? What impact did you bring to Rivers people?
That will, I don't like to assess myself.
Yeah, this is not blowing your trumpet.
Yeah.
I'm the one asking now.
I don't like to assess, but that period,
Yes.
Normally we assess ourselves with how many people died during your time. And which people, women and children, infant mortality, maternal mortality. We tried our best to crash it.
Those numbers.
And we were forefront in the fight against malaria. We are talking coronavirus, but even as we are talking coronavirus,
there's
there
malaria.
is still malaria. Of course, you see, because coronavirus is affecting the bourgeois.
Yes.
We are talking about it. That every day,
every home
loses people to malaria. Children are dying every day. Women are dying in the hospital due to malaria, anemia in pregnancy. And
that's not the focus.
That is today. That is not corona. We are talking because big men are dying. Big men are dying.
So our attention is
right. So our attention is there. The former chief of staff to the president died. Oh. Big men,
Corona is a problem.
Corona is a problem.
So why you a commissioner now? You particularly pursued the issue of malaria and primary health care that you mentioned earlier on, and you said infant and maternal mortality rates. Yes, you ensured that you saw a stop.
We started training, and which I'm very grateful to the present administration, that the departments of Braithwaite Memorial Hospital that we accredited are now transformed to a full-fledged teaching hospital.
Okay.
I'm very glad about that. And the medical school has started, which we conceptualized to start, build the foundation. Let me use this opportunity to thank Professor Ramabo. He has tried for us, and he kept the flag flying.
So, I think we've established quite a great deal on how professional you are when it has to do with your medical field and perhaps the kind of politics you played at that time, being a commissioner. But then your defection, I guess, to the PDP brings to the limelight your political stalwart and how you play that particular game. I think I was reading up somewhere where the APC said when you defected that, well, you were not really a member of the party anyways. So let's just clear that. Let me start with that there. Were you a member of the APC, or you worked within an APC government and not really a card-holding member?
Well, I was one of the founding members rather, of APC.
Okay.
Having been a close associate of the governor then, there was no way I wouldn't have been. I stick with my loyalty. And when I'm convinced that this is my leader, I follow him. He may be right, he may be wrong, but you follow him. So long as he gives you the allowance to discuss with him. I got into the PDP, and the APC from PDP, following my
when
leader.
When he moved, so you moved along.
I moved along with him.
All right.
Like I said, I was one of the founding persons that entered first. Along the line, things started going awry. How? We had beliefs, we had targets.
As a government or as a political party?
As a people moving from one place to the other. When we got there, all the promises, all the things that we needed to do, we are not there. We are the strength of APC. Let me get it clear. We were the strength. When I say we were the strength with the governor then.
We who now?
We, Amechi and his followers.
Okay.
I won't say him because he's just an individual. We were the strength, and we strengthened PDP. We strengthened APC to the election of President Buhari. But what did we get there? All deceit. First of all, the result of all we did was to get a ministerial appointment. Prior to that time, we had ministers before. The present governor was a minister. We had Abiye, former minister of transport. We had Danagogo minister, Kenneth Koba, the minister. With all that effort, we still just got a ministerial appointment.
So what was the hope? What were you hoping that you
we
could
were
get?
expecting that maybe we will get a vice presidential appointment or secretary to go. Something that will bear positively to the people of Rivers State.
What, you don't think being a minister bears positivity?
What have we seen in Rivers State? What have we seen in Rivers State? This is 6 years counting. What have we seen in Rivers State? What have we seen in return for all the investment? Both human, financial, emotional investment. Nothing. Okay. Let us say that is our sacrifice for one Nigeria. What have you seen about the promises to Nigeria? The fight against corruption.
Yeah.
The economy. What have we seen about the economy? What have we seen? What did they again talk about? Security.
Security.
What have we seen? Now we're talking about security of lives and properties. Yes, gun security, insurgency and banditry and everything. And now we have a challenge of the things, medical security. Even that we have failed. The government has failed in that area. So, why wouldn't we tell ourselves the truth? We were in a house. Yes, every home will have its challenges. Then you move because of those challenges.
Yeah.
Now the challenges in the new house are like 100 times, up 10 times more than the challenges you had
in the former house.
Why don't you just go back and say, sorry, gentlemen, that was a human error. An error of the head, or of the heart, not the head. So we are back. That is what I did. For those that said that I was not in APC, that is their thing to prove. I'm not going to discuss about that because they were just talking about it.
You say you were a founding member and you moved alongside when your leader at that time was moving.
For those saying, it wasn't, it's their business, I'm not going to join issues.
Okay, good.
Them.
So now a political leader, usually, I mean, we'll also want to know the prowess of a political leader, which his constituency, where he's from, the people he represents. How do your people see you in your immediate constituency? Where you're from?
That is Okrika.
Okrika.
Oh, I'm a lover of my people. I'm a lover of my people. I'm a man of peace. I try to make sure that wherever I am, at least my people feel the impact of one thing or the other. I think one thing about politics is that when you're there, get some things for your people. When the other person gets there, he will get some things for his people too. Apart from the general things that we got, we will share together. And when your people are shortchanged, you get icked. Like, for instance, Rivers State, it's shortchanged by the federal government. Despite the investment we did, we gave.
Is this the sole reason why you had to leave the APC, because you felt the federal government should change Rivers people after huge investments?
Number one, and the federal government was not performing.
Okay.
The federal government was not performing.
But it was also along the lines that the PDP was not performing at that point when you defected to the APC alongside.
Well, that was our own impression then, but you cannot just generally say that PDP was not. It was a party who were there to perform. And as our reason for defection was just about politics, was just politics. It wasn't to do about development, because we were okay on our own. We were okay. There was a transition period, people shift, and you must have a reason to tell your people why you're shifting.
You're shifting, yeah.
And the reasons why we shifted have been proven to be deceptive.
Okay, I was checking quite a number of things about, like I said, I've been here ever since you were commissioner. So following up your stories, and then especially when you defected, quite a number of people of the opinion that, well, if you are hoping that the federal government will perhaps give you something, that as long as you didn't get any appointment or any form of recognition from the federal government, this is why you decided to defect. So are you doing this, or did you do this because, well, maybe the Minister for Transportation hasn't carried you along in certain things, and you've decided, well, that's it, I'm done?
No, the minister is my friend. I'm using the word is my friend. In fact, I have sympathy for him, for what he's going through himself. I don't want to add my own pressures on his own, because I don't think he's happy with himself. If we'll be truthful to himself, maybe he will say it for political reasons to everybody, but I don't think he's happy with himself, with what he has gotten out of this bargain. No. True, frankly, we made a mistake. We made a poor judgment of things at that time. And with humility, we should come back home. And that is what I did. It's not, I'm a medical doctor.
Well, why don't you think if you stayed back in the APC that you could fix it?
Oh, no, there was no way. You can't put something on nothing. There was no plan to fix it. It was, the agenda was just to remove good luck. We thought there was a better, something to gain after the removal of good luck. The evidence is this. We are 6 years going to 7 years. You are in Rivers State. Look round. Rivers State. What is this thing that you see and say that, we got this pen. This writing pen was gotten because of our contribution, of the contribution of Rivers State 2015 to the federal government or to APC in winning that election. Is there anything that you will point to? One pen, we got this thing. I'm not talking about the general things that they do everybody. This pen, we got it because of that. All we got was Minister of Transportation. Without any effort, Dr. B.S. Sekebo became Minister of Transportation. But with all that effort, the whole country wide, they know what we did. A lot of people...
Let me ask for emphasis. What did you people do apart from having the then governor be the DG campaigns? What did Rivers...
A lot of things go along with that.
What
if
things?
You understand.
I don't understand. That's why I'm asking you.
A lot of things go. Human resources, push, cohesion, the force of government. And when you say that, when you hear that Rivers State is behind this person, the person gets a little
more comfortable.
Some bongo.
Bongo, would that mean funding, please?
I don't know about that.
I want to know in the exact English.
I don't know
if
about
bongo
that.
means funding. All right then. Okay.
I don't know about
so
that.
now that means everything for you has been a huge disappointment because of how much support they got and the fact that nothing is coming to Rivers people.
Huge disappointment.
And then they're not doing anything to change the nation as it were.
No.
So now you've moved to PDP.
Yes.
What are you expecting in the PDP? What
really,
do you think is going to change now that you're in PDP?
It's not even what is changed. I must say this, that while we were living, or while we left after a period, and our dear friend and brother took over from us, that is Governor Nyesom Wike, and the PDP took over from us. It was not, we didn't expect much from him.
Yeah.
Then, economically, we were down. And we even pitied him on how is he going to manage. But looking back from there, a lot of things were happening. The young man was on the minute he got down doing things that we didn't expect him to do. And so far, I can say that he has done well. So if you look back home and something is happening in your old house, your normal, natural habitat, it's just like the prodigal son, you have to go back.
You're in an unnatural habitat.
Yes. Yes, I was in an unnatural habitat. You got it right, Annie. You are very intelligent. We have to come back to our natural habitat and support our brother for whatever he's doing. And for the sake of our people. Look at all the projects that are down on the ground.
There are quite a number of people in River State who will not agree with you on that and say he hasn't done as much as you think he has done for you to warrant all the praises you're giving. Yes, he has built bridges, he's done some roads, but that there hasn't been much when it comes to human capital development. There hasn't been much when it comes to perhaps your former constituency, which is Ministry of Health, and that they are yet to feel his impact along these lines and do not take to his giving out of Rivers funds in the manner he has done. Most recent, that of Zamfara State, where he gave out 500 million naira.
Sokoto State.
Sokoto State, I beg your pardon.
Yeah. First of all, everybody's entitled to his own opinion.
Definitely.
And observation. When a man is moving in the desert and he sees an oasis, it's like he has seen an ocean. Maybe, that's my impression. But I must tell you about this oasis I'm seeing, wherever it is. My sector, I said that we were putting together a training school to improve manpower development. There was this budget head I had when I was there, specialist manpower development, and this is one of the things that, let us make sure that our doctors stay here.
Yeah.
Instead of going to
outside.
school, going to do residency outside, going to trainers and remaining there. So we wanted the medical school here. And we started that program. We didn't go too far in that thing. And coming back is complete. And you say he's not interested in manpower development? No, I don't agree with you. Look at the primary healthcare system. We talked about sustainability and we made the law. Even we that made the law didn't give to the primary healthcare board the 5% contribution from the JAC account. He has done so. There's sustainability. I saw the primary healthcare building at Waterlines. The PAMSEC and executive secretary is my friend. And they're flowing. Yes, he may not be able to fund all of them, but something is happening. I'm happy to see those things.
At least those things.
I'm happy to see those things. I don't know which other areas they will talk about. Of course, the obvious things. I've seen the infrastructural development all over the place. All over, every local, some person says it's River State and the Port Harcourt, Obiakpo. I went to Bolo, the Bolo community the other day with him, and I saw what has happened in that community.
What happened?
All the roads, they have internal roads everywhere. I knew that place. That place, they have this kind of soft sand that your leg may be sinking as you're walking on the road. It's all paved. The people are happy. What is government about anyway? I went to Port Harcourt Water Board. A lot of things are going on there. Very soon, we will go back to the point when communities in Port Harcourt will go, those days when we used to have water spots, points everywhere. It's about being developed. It's done. It's almost complete. So why would they say that they are not seeing anything? If they want to see something, they should go to federal government and ask them what they can show them.
No, I think they'll concentrate on River State. Then once they begin to see that of Rivers, they'll move ahead. Okay, so now that you're with the PDP, what's your plan? What's your next move?
Really, now PDP is my home. It's my home.
So are you hoping that you get a position to give you something?
That's not important now for me. What is important now is to make sure that the stability of the house is sustained, and make sure that with what I've gone through, I bring my experience back here and be an advisor to be
relevant somewhere.
To be relevant somewhere, to be reintegrated fully back, like the prodigal son. Maybe I will get a signet ring.
But I think if I remember the governor saying when you came back on that you have always been part of, as a matter of fact, you say you were part of the I don't know, let me use for lack of a better word, the establishment that brought in Rotimi Amici as governor at that time, and therefore if you're back to the PDP, you should be accredited all honor and everything. So I don't think you even need a ring whatsoever. Going by what he said, you have been reinstated in whatever position that you think you have missed.
I will. It takes time to fully integrate in whatever area you are. A lot of things. 5 years away.
Some things have changed.
Time. Some things have changed. You have to learn what is going on in the house. Some people that were not as big. Some people have grown.
So do you have any political ambition before I open the phone lines? Because we'll take about a few.
Not now. Let me just reintegrate first before we talk about ambitions and all the rest.
2023.
I'm not usually.
2023.
I'm not usually an ambition person. I'm usually the kind of person that will stay.
You walk from the back.
And
behind
you ask
the scenes.
me. Yes, you come together and say, I think this guy can play this role. Why don't you play this role? Then I say, oh, okay, let me help out here. That is what a team is all about.
You're a team player.
That is how I am.
Fantastic. We have Dr. Samson Parkers here in the studio. Would like to have your thoughts on the conversations we've had here in the studio, not outside this conversation. Stay within these conversations. And then we'll take a few calls because it's almost 11 o'clock. So 0810-951-0951 or 0817-0000-951. Those are the numbers for you to dial to get through to us here. And don't forget that you can also send text messages. Send a text message to 070-1933-9962. 070-1933-9962 for text messages and WhatsApp posts only. I think that quite a number of people, when you defected, said, oh my goodness, this is the former governor's doctor. And if he's defected, then he's over. Pretty much like, oh, Barry, it's all done. Did you feel like that? Did you feel like you were stabbing your friend in the back by that?
No. Rather, I was giving him a signal.
With that move, did he know you were going to do that? Did you tell him? Did you have that conversation with him?
Like they said, like you heard when they started opining that I was not in APC when I was moving. And we had our own discussions, myself and him, and he actually knows that I was not happy with the arrangement from the beginning. But I just had to be there.
You were just loyal.
Loyalty to friendship. Loyalty, look, let me come with him. It's been nice before. So why would I leave when things are like this? Why don't I stay back? Maybe there's something to do to make him see. It was like a bet. Look, this place we are going is not good. Say, no, it's our best bet. No, it's good. Okay, 2 friends. Okay, let's go and see now. We have gone, we have seen. And it was time to return. The other person, no, this is the best thing. I die here. I said, me, I don't want that.
You are not going to die. I get your point. Hello, today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Annie, good morning.
Morning. What's your name?
My name is John. I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
JJ, great to have you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I greet your guest in the studio. He talked about not having special thing. I don't know what you mean by special thing. The person who was campaign manager to Jonathan 2 times, what special thing did he get in his own area when he was campaigning in 2011 and 2015? What special thing did they get? I know that one of the special things that we got here was the Ogoni cleanup from the NEP report that was submitted to Jonathan for 6 years. He didn't even touch it. He didn't do anything. And Buhari came, did groundbreaking, and the cleanup is on. I don't know if you've been to the Oyigbo area and the dualization of the road from just 1 lane to like 10 lanes right now, and it's still ongoing. I don't also know if you've been to the Boni Bodo Road that is ongoing seriously. I don't know if you listen to the news where our own governor, Wike, that you're following right now, said the federal government has refunded the 87.9 billion that Jonathan couldn't pay because of politics. So for me, these are some of the things, and you're also aware when the Minister of Works came to River State here and said the person you're saying is your friend and you're a doctor and all those ones was the one facilitating this whole thing at the federal level. So I don't know what you mean by this.
Okay, JJ.
So for me, conclusively, I think that it's like we are playing football like primary school children anywhere but less is.
All right, JJ. We got your position there. This text says the APC government in the center, as led by President Buhari, rolled out economic and agricultural policies that states need to key into to alleviate the sufferings of their people. States like Ebonyi, Anambra, Kebbi, and other northern and western states keyed into these policies, and their standards of living is far better than us here in River State. Can your guest tell us why Governor Wike is not working with the federal government to better the lives of the people? Why did Governor Wike abandon all the agricultural, health, and educational policies done by Amechi? What happened to the Songhai farms, Bugoma, Ubima fish farms, and Ogoni banana plantations? Why is Rivers ranked the 3rd in unemployment ratings if Governor Wike is doing so well? Dakuku was DG of Nimasa, the Bodo Boni Road the federal government is doing. Can your guest be sincere enough to say the River State has not been carried along by the APC-led federal government? Vili DK, you sent that in. This here says, dear presenter, I heard your guest in the studio talking about good news on how the government handled issues on COVID-19 in Nigeria. Did you say good news? I can't remember him saying good news about how the government handled COVID-19. Rather, he said they didn't do the right things. But let me go ahead to read your text. You said, I stand to view contrary. The good news is that, thank God, we don't have that thing here. Otherwise, we would have all been dead. Just go to Aba Road at NIM's Registry Center and see how people are gathering because of government's useless policies. This is from Kama. Kama is even saying, look, the good thing is that we don't have COVID-19. Greetings. Tell your guests that Rivers has gotten Naval's Logistics School at Ubima. UNEP reports is being implemented, etc. Now, he should tell us what River State got under Gedge and the PDP. How much was budgeted for works in 2020 by Rivers government? What was our productive base under the PDP? This is from Emifia Haga. All right, I'll give you a chance to say what you need to, Doc, but let's just take a few more calls. Hello. Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Jaja Digba. I'm calling from Apabo.
Jaja from Akwa Ibom.
Apabo.
Aha. Okay, good to have you. Go ahead.
Apabo.
I got it. Apabo. Go ahead.
Good. And let me greet your guest in the studio. I get pissed off. We the younger generations, when we listen to people like Paka talking, we get disappointed in Rivers politicians. This young man has not told Rivers people. It's the reason why he left Amechi. He has not told Rivers people. He should ask his conscience. Let him look deep to his conscience to know.
He just answered. He just told you why. He said APC was failing the entire nation.
That is true. Assuming what he has just said is true. Let me put it to Samson Parker. Can he mention 2-3 persons from his local government that he has made ever since he became commissioner for commissioner for health, who he has made as a politician. Now, Rivers people, we know between Jonathan and Buhari, who has touched Rivers' life. Was he not there when his boss, Amechi then, that he was used to follow? I know him very well. Was he not there when his boss used to follow? Now, what would it to Amechi? If they do it to Wike here, will he support Jonathan? Will he be there talking about Jonathan? What Amechi passed through, we are Jonathan administration here in Rivers State. He said him, Samson Packer was carrying back for full of Amechi.
All right, then. Okay, thank you. We got your thoughts there. Thank you very much. You obviously are taking this too passionately. Comrade Tamunobumi, I hope I got your name right. Tamuno Ibuomi. Okay. God is with me. Thank you so much. You see why we need you here, if not for anything, just to help us out with this. Dr. Packer. Good morning, Annie. Please tell your guests that development of the state is not just on road projects, which you know that can never match that of Right Honorable Amechi in road projects. The government was to invest in other sectors like health, education, agriculture, employment, etc., which the present administration has failed woefully. He's been economical with the truth. Talking of federal government under President Buhari not fulfilling the promises, maybe he's embittered because he was not given any appointments. That's why he's accessing the federal government's talk of corruption, which is the major campaign point. This government successfully jailed 2 past governors, seized so many funds and so many others. As regards economy, Buhari has invested so much in agriculture, which is yielding positive fruits. In terms of empowerment, there's so many like trader money, market money, and power, ESP, and so many. The governor of Rivers State has benefited so much from President Buhari's government than any. Remember the recent 78 billion naira given to Governor Wike. But I mean, when we go back to this 78 billion, they owed the state. It's not as if it was something they freely gave the state. They owed the state, and at some points they had to pay. So I don't, and it's not just River State. There are other states too that the then minister, I think at the time when he was compiling it, he was Minister for Works and Housing and Power that time, Fashola. When they were doing that together, all the other states that they had these issues, he went there with his team and strategically looked at these things and evaluated the funds, agreed on an amount, passed that on before it got the verification of the president. So I don't understand why you keep bringing it up as what they've benefited from the federal government. Dr. Packer, my medical doctor friend and now a political medical doctor. Congrats, by the way. Now that you're in PDP, the ruling party in River State, for special assignment, I know you would do well, just as you did under Honorable Rotimi Amechi. But if by 2023 and Governor Wike wants to reward you for the good work by nominating you to run for governorship 2023, are you going to oblige and run? This is from Michael Newman. Maybe we should just wait for 2023. Dr. Parker has already told he has no immediate plans. He just wants to settle in. It's wrong for people to say Bonny Road is done by federal government. That road is worth 120 billion naira. Federal government failed to commit her own part of the money, but only NLNG is taking care of everything. So federal government has failed in that regard. Federal government has not even commissioned anything in River State. Let's not be deceived. That's from Tonya. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Good morning, Buchi. How are you?
Good morning. My name is Annie.
Okay. Good morning, Dr. Parker. Please, I want to ask Dr. Parker in the studio, what can he tell Rivers State about proposed mother and child hospital to be built, where about 3 billion was spent already to clear the site? Up to now, nothing was done. Then, and if the type of politics Dr. Parker plays, or the politician we know him to be, is the politicians we have, it then means we have failed politicians. That Dr. Parker should not come to tell us all this on the radio. When he was commissioner, he failed in Ministry of Health.
How? You can't just say he failed. How did he fail?
From the free medical care program, what happened? So it's just good for us to begin to name the mother and child hospital, which was, they say, about 13-story building. It has The first one has a 8-story building, next one has 5-story building. You know, we've not had anything. The soil test, which was not done, the money has been siphoned. What is he telling us?
Okay.
He wants to take himself as a cent.
Got your position on that. Thank you very much. Dr. Park, I don't know if there's any of these issues here that you might want to address. Maybe we'll just start with the last here, talking about the Mother and Child Hospital.
That is one of the Mother and Child, as he said. The Mother and Child, I'm so impressed. We started that Mother and Child Hospital in partnership with the NDDC.
Okay.
And it was a contributory 50-50 thing. Unfortunately, the NDDC didn't put their own money down. We put our money down. And I was very impressed. That is one of the things that impressed my heart. Because I put a lot of architectural input, that is mind input in the design. And I'm seeing that hospital standing, about to be commissioned now. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't want to preempt what you should get his fact. I know the question he wants to ask, but I'm not going to answer until he
gets it
right. But the Mother and Child Hospital is standing there. Kudos to Governor Wiki. Beautiful. At the Rumamasi opposite.
But you're saying it started from your administration?
Yes, it started from our administration. Wonderfully well. It's standing.
Hart calling from our other way.
Hart, go ahead.
It's a welcome development that the man in studio there left APC to PDP. It's a welcome. I like it. It's a wise man because APC, their name is not in the INEC ballot paper, and all the problem they have, they cannot succeed in any election in this state. So he's a wise man. I like him, and he will continue succeeding in life. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello, good morning, Annie Law.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, Annie, you know Mr. Sam.
All right, Sam, go ahead.
Annie, you see, I'm not surprised when I hear some of these politicians who sold or betrayed their master for peanut or whatsoever they think is their own personal desire or personal benefit. But you see, I want to ask, is it not this man in your studio that this present government here in the state was accusing of misappropriating funds here in the state? Is it not him? Or is he doing it because he wants to get off the hook about what they were alleging that he misappropriated for? I don't understand. Now he's not even being objective by saying himself, or specific by saying himself. He says, we, who are we? You have become, and you are here in the studio. Anything you...
Okay, Sam, we've got to let you go though. Sorry, because of time. I'm trying to make sure I work within the time I have. But I did read. I wasn't there when you decamped and you were being welcomed. But I did read that when you decamped with over 2,000 people. Yeah. That's what happened. So yeah. I mean, when you do say we, perhaps you mean at least the people who were with you when you decamped.
Yes, more will come over.
Oh, really?
More will come over.
Is that the feedback you're getting from your constituency?
Oh, yes. The other part I didn't talk about is the disintegration of APC, particularly in the River State. The APC people talking, those people that are not happy, I sympathize with their emotions. Yes, I was somebody, I knew they loved me. They wanted me to stay. You know, there's something we call in psychiatry, separation anxiety. So one of the reasons I came here is for people to have opportunities to ventilate against me. I'm expecting to abuse me, do everything and all the rest. But they're not abusing me enough. The thing is that for those of them that said so, I did this for the common good of all. So that some persons will also get the boldness, know it and say, look, where we are is not, it's a straight line. It's time to move. We have dwelt long enough in this horror, like the Bible says. It's time to move.
You mentioned the fact that the APC in the state, as it were, is divided.
Disintegrated.
Okay, good. So do you think, and you said more people will move to the PDP, do you think that some groups within this APC, as we have now, broken up, will move to the PDP?
Of course. They will move. They will move to the APC just at the right time. They are waiting for one thing or the other.
Before I've
led, at least, I've given them, they've been...
You've taken the first step for them.
I've taken the first step for them, and they will follow suit.
Well, you and Chidi Lloyd.
Yeah, Chidi Lloyd and the others too. The other things, I just gloss over everything and speak to those persons. I have no personal grudge against anybody. I have no personal gain in the movement. But that I just want to be at peace with myself and my conscience. That I did the right thing when I should do it. And that we are all Rivers people. Our concern is growing our state and the people that are coming after us to make sure that things happen for us. Like others were responding to them, Bodo cleanup, Bonny Road. I mean, it's shameful for people to be talking about this at this time. Okay, because Jonathan didn't do well, we went to APC. Has this one done well now? After at least the Jonathan 6 years, this one has completed the 6 years. Count 6 years. Jonathan did this, didn't do this, or stopped there. What has he done? Wike, Amechi did this, at least Mother and Child Hospital. We did to this thing. What has Amechi done? Wike done. He has completed it. We planned the flyover at Rebisi flyover. We did the survey at that time. Wike has completed it. These are the things that you will talk about, not to say, oh, Jonathan did it.
But they talked about the plantation.
Reason,
they talked about
it was dead before we left. Some guy was dead before we left.
Really?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Free medical care was dead before we left. We couldn't pay. I talked about the economy.
Yes.
Those are the things that politics made us, the sacrifices we made. Now, the governor comes and says, look, I can't do everything.
I'm going to take piecemeal.
I'll take this, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. And each one he has chosen, he's doing them. He couldn't build new schools like we did at that time, but he has renovated the old schools. I saw Birabi Memorial Grammar School the other day. Beautiful. And some of that things. He's done one in Calabari. So, I'm not here to compare administrations. I'm talking about moving forward. Moving forward. I'm here to partner with him to move forward. Amechi will not be governor of Rivers State again. Wike is governor of Rivers State. Amechi's duty is to contribute to federal government. If he's contributing...
So now that you're with the PDP, what happens if the APC wins governorship in 2023?
If APC wins,
yes,
they will first of all become a party before they win an election.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because you say you want to partner.
Not yet.
You say you want to partner with Wike since he's governor now for Rivers State, of course, for the betterment of Rivers people. So what happens if APC takes over? Would you join them again to see?
They don't even have a chance of taking over.
You don't think this is ever going to happen for the APC?
You have to. Only political parties contest elections. APC in Rivers State is not a political party.
What is it?
Association. It's still an association of camps. Association of camps and factions. I'm not cut out for that.
Dr. Parker, it has been amazing having you in the
studio. Thank you.
It has been amazing.
I must also say that it's time to deploy machines to do testing. By the way, I got the franchise to deploy the latest testing machines for COVID, and we plan to...
The franchise to Rivers State or to the federal government?
To Nigeria, not to federal government, not the government franchise.
Okay.
So that we can get the machines out, so that people can go about, even in the community. They are talking about COVID only in Port Harcourt and the cities all over Nigeria. The rural people, you mean COVID avoids the rural areas?
It doesn't.
Like that one that said there is no COVID in Nigeria.
So you should go to NIMC centers and see. Okay, great. So when are these machines coming in?
They're around.
They're around
right now, yes.
We can't wait for your lunch. Dr. Parker, thank you so much. We're looking forward to continuing following your story. We've been following right from the start. We're here checking out.
I'm surprised how much you know about me.
Checking out your every move. And please, our doors are always open. Please, when we invite you, do oblige.
Please, I will come often. This is the first time I'm coming to this
Indeed,
studio,
it's the first time.
It's a wonderful place.
We'd like to see you again. Thank you so much, Dr. Parker, for coming
Thank
in.
you.
All right, Rivers people, this is where we wrap up on this. And I know that some of you are so upset I was unable to take a lot of calls and text messages. But like I just helped you out. I've invited him over again. So we'll save all the questions and text messages to when next he graces our studios. Just stay with us here. There's so much more coming. Don't forget the world news is at the top of the hour, 12.
Radio is good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Today 95.1 FM. Good
morning. My name is Ifeanyi. I'm calling you from. Hello?
Yes, today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
My name is William. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, William from Port Harcourt. Go ahead.
Talk radio.
You have a right to say no, right? All right.
I'm calling from Unipua.
Okay, thank you so much from Unipua.
We are the station that needs no introduction. Of course, you know, we give the best in news, sports.
You like football, right?
Entertainment, politics. In fact, call it talk.
Yes, we know there's a lot you want to hear, and that is why we talk about everything.
Talk radio.
We're right before you. It's just a dial away. This is your number one premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, Voice of the People.
Fire incidents have become a regular occurrence, with thousands of lives and millions of properties lost every year in this country. Hardly a day passes without news of a fire outbreak in some part of the country, causing fear and panic among the people. Needless to say, we need to remind ourselves of the possibility of an outbreak at any time. This is what is likely to prevent us from being taken by surprise. Always put off appliances when not in use. Do not overload electrical sockets. Fuel your generator before, not when in use. Avoid fixing electrical faults personally when you apparently do not have the skill. Keep the candle on a candle stand.
It takes only a minute for a fire to get out of hand. In case of a fire outbreak, please call the fire service hotline 070-315-221-99. This message is brought to you by your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, Voice of the People.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the Voice of the People.
Have you ever paid a visit to Croatia? Well, most of the visitors that actually paid a visit to Croatia, they fell in love with its coast and sea, and they are thrilled about the food and inspired about its culture, its natural heritage, the music, the people, and even the animals. Well, most of these visitors are surprised when they hear about some of a less known fact about Croatia, and some of the people even pay visits to Croatia just because of this fact. Well, my name is Buchi Rafua, and I will be taking you on a trip to Croatia. Please do not sleep on me as I give you a brief history of Croatia. Well, Croatia is officially the Republic of Croatia. It is a country at the crossroad of Central and Southeast Europe on the Adriatic Sea. It borders Slovenia to the northwest, Hungary to the northeast, Serbia to the east, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Montenegro to the southeast, and shares a maritime border with Italy to the west and southwest. Its capital and largest city, Zagreb, forms one of the country's primary subdivisions with 20 counties. Croatia has 56,594 square kilometers and a population of 4.07 million. Now, the Croats, like they're being called, they arrived in the 6th century and organized the territory into two duchies by the 9th century. Croatia was first internationally recognized as independent on 7th June 879. I'm not talking about 1990s or 2000s or 1600s. I'm talking about 879. And this was during the reign of Duke Branimir. Tomislav became the first king by 925, elevating Croatia to the status of a kingdom. During the succession crisis after the Trpimirovic dynasty ended, Croatia entered a personal union in Hungary in 1102. Now, in 1527, it was faced with Ottoman conquest. The Croatian parliament elected Ferdinand I of Austria to the Croatian throne. In October 1918, the state of Slovenes, Croats, and Serbs independent from Austria-Hungary was proclaimed in Zagreb, and in December 1918, it merged into the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. Now, following the Axis invasion of Yugoslavia in April 1941, most of Croatia was incorporated into a Nazi-installed puppet state, the independent state of Croatia. A resistance movement led to the creation of the federal state of Croatia, which after the war became a founding member and constituent of the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. Now, on 25th June 1999, Croatia declared independence, and the War of Independence was fought for 4 years following that declaration. The sovereign state Croatia is a republic that is governed under a parliamentary system. It is a member of the European Union, the United Nations, the Council of Europe, NATO, the World Trade Organization, and a founding member of Union of Mediterranean, an active participant in UN peacekeeping forces. Croatia has contributed troops to the NATO-led mission in Afghanistan and took a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council for the 2008 to 2009 term. Since 2000, the Croatian government has invested in infrastructure, especially transport routes and facilities along the pan-European corridors. Croatia is classified by the World Bank as a high-income economy and ranks very high on the Human Development Index. Service, industrial sectors, and agriculture dominates the economy respectively, and tourism is a significant source of revenue, with Croatia ranked among the 20 most popular tourist destinations. The state controls a part of the economy and substantial government expenditure. The European Union is Croatia's most important trading partner. Croatia provides social security, universal health care, and a tuition-free primary and secondary education while supporting culture through public institutions and corporate investment in media and publishing. Well, good thing you're still awake. You made it through the history. So we can actually meet the very friendly people of Croatia. It hits you right away in the shop, in the market, and the street. And when asking directions, Croatians are friendly, happy to help, and most social interactions are carried out with a smile. True, they can also be abrupt, but that's just the way of things in the Balkans. Friendly is invariably the go-to attitude most of the time, and they're usually well-read and well-educated. Croatians can hold their own in conversations about the latest best-selling novels or the biggest films. In terms of popular culture, they are ahead of many Europeans, particularly when it comes to rock, pop, punk, or rap. Theaters and classical music concerts are always well attended. Culture is a sacred cow as far as Croatians are concerned. And little did you even know that Croatian hospitality is best observed when you go to see someone's house. The guest is treated to at least 2 and probably 3 helpings of food. With all the trimmings, the finest drinks are brought out. Everyone will do their best to make you feel as welcome as possible and make you feel at ease. And like we say it here in Nigeria, make you feel at home. And also, Croatians know the natural riches they have at their disposal. A pristine coast, beautiful national parks, unspoiled landscape, and are justifiably proud of this bounty. And many locals feel a close affinity with nature that perhaps those living in major cities like London can appreciate or may not have experienced. Well, the people is not all you get to see in Croatia. You should have a taste of the wildlife Croatia has to offer. The brown bear. Now, Croatia has one of the highest populations of the Eurasian brown bear in Europe, which is impressive considering the species is almost extinct in the Western continent. And unfortunately, these fuzzy, ferocious animals are frequently hunted for sport, although the practice is closely monitored and it's only legal at certain times of the year. Oh, did you know an image of the brown bear is featured on the reverse side of 5 kuna coin? In addition to the brown bear, Croatian's mountains and dense forests provide the perfect habitat for wolves to thrive. They were exterminated from most parts of Europe in the 19th century, although conservative efforts have helped the species to recover. And now Croatia and the Balkans boast some of the biggest populations. And did you also know that Croatia's big cat, that's the Eurasian lynx, is the largest species of lynx in the world? And much like the wolf, was once very common throughout Europe. After the species was reintroduced in Slovenia, they began to colonize parts of Croatia. A number of mating pairs set up home in Plitvice Lakes National Parks, probably to take advantage of the picturesque views. Well, lest I forget, in addition to Croatians being really friendly, hospitable, and very sweet, do you know that they have no official religion? Freedom of religion is a right defined by the Constitution, which also defines all religious communities as equal before the law and separated from the state. According to the 2011 census, 91.36% of Croatians identify as Christians. Of these, Catholics make up the largest group, accounting for 86.28% of the population. After which follows Eastern Orthodoxy, Protestantism, and other Christians. Now, the largest religion after Christianity is Islam, with 4.57% of the population describing themselves as non-religious. And Croatian is the official language of Croatia, and it became the 24th official language of the European Union upon its ascension in 2013. Minority languages are in official use in local government units where more than a third of the population consists of national minorities, or where local legislation defines so. Now, those languages are Czech, Hungarian, Italian, Serbian, and Slovak. Besides this, the following languages are also recognized: Albanian, Bosnian, Bulgarian, German, Hebrew, Macedonia, Montenegrin, Polish, Romanian, Eastro-Romanian, Romani, Russian, Rusin, Slovene, Turkish, and Ukrainian. Well, like we said earlier, Croatia is well known for its tourist sites. Historic cities and unspoiled nature are some of its top attractions. The vibrant capital city of Zagreb is home to some of the country's best museums, galleries, restaurants, and shopping. And speaking of tourist sites, Dubrovnik, Croatia's most glamorous tourist destination and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, centers on the magnificent old town area contained within sturdy medieval defensive walls. Any first-time sightseeing tour of the city should begin with a walk around the sturdy old ramparts. The complete circuit measures 2 kilometers, which incorporates fortresses, towers, and cannons along the way. You'll also likely enter the old town through the famous Pearl Gate, built in 1537 and one of the city's most impressive structures. From high up on the walls, you can enjoy amazing views over the old town rooftops and out across the glistening Adriatic Sea. Be sure to wear comfortable walking shoes and bring bottled water and a selfie stick, because you will be needing that. Now, another very interesting place you should pay a visit to is Croatia's second biggest city after Zagreb. It's called Split. It was established within the ancient Roman walls of the huge Diocletian's palace. Situated overlooking the Adriatic Sea, it was built by Roman Emperor Diocletian, who retired here in AD 305. Oh yeah, how can you talk about Croatia without talking about the Var town? Many tourists visit Croatia to explore the blissful Dalmatian island, of which the most fashionable is Var. Here, the trendy city of Var is home to some of the country's top hotels and best seafood restaurants, dating back to the years spent under Venetian rule, which is 1420s to 1797. Its car-free old town is made up of a spacious main square, overlooked by a 16th century cathedral, a pretty fishing harbor, and a hilltop fortress. Var is popular with yachts and celebrities, as well as travelers who come here to enjoy its beaches and water sports. It is served by ferry from Split. But how can you talk about the places, the food, the drink without the dance and music? Let's start with a dance. Croatian dance traditionally refers to a series of folk dances, the most common being the kolo. A Croatian dance varies by region and can be found throughout the various regions of Austria, Croatia, Bosnia, other regions including Romania. The traditional kolo is a circle dance where dancers follow each other around in circle. It's relatively simple in form and widespread throughout other Slavic countries. Due to immigration, Croatian folk dance groups are prevalent throughout the diaspora, most notably the United States, Canada, Australia, and Germany. And then it's music. Croatian music is a very important part of Croatian folk dance, with of the most common instruments to use are the tamburica, ligerica, jedinka, sargija, guso, bagpipe, and accordion. Today, kolo is danced at weddings, baptisms, holidays such as Easter, and ethnic festivals. So the kolo dance is usually performed amongst groups of at least 3 people, and up to several dozen people can also join in. Dancers hold each other's hand or each other's waist. They form a circle in a single chain or multiple parallel lines. A kolo requires almost no movement above the waist. The basic steps are easy to learn. Experienced dancers demonstrate virtuosity by adding different ornamental elements such as syncopated steps. Each region has at least one unique kolo. It is difficult to master the dance, and even most experienced dancers cannot master all of them. Like I said, it's actually performed at weddings, social, cultural, and religious ceremonies. Some dances require both men and women to dance together, while others require only men or only women. But what would it be like paying a visit to Croatia without having a taste of their delicacies? So right now, we are going to eat our way through some of Croatia's culinary delights and sample some delicate seafood dishes, hearty ham, and rich pastries on a picturesque coast. The first delicacy we will be looking at is the black risotto. It is known locally as crine risotto. This is made with cuttlefish or squid, olive oil, garlic, red wine, and squid ink, which gives an intense seafood flavor and black color. It's popular all along Croatia's coastline. This dish will turn your mouth and teeth black, but it's worth it, trust me. And then we have the boscarin. The boscarin is the white-gray, long-horned eastern oxen. And next up is the boscarin. The white-gray, long-horned eastern oxen are a gourmet delicacy. Boscarin is served at top restaurants and conobas in a variety of ways, including as carpaccio, in savory sauce with pasta or gnocchi as salami or steak, and boscarin tail soup. And then it's the brodetto. So the brodetto, also called the brudet. This fisherman's stew hails from Italy's Marche region. Traditionally, fishermen cooked it over an open fire using the catch of day. They would add ample vinegar to the pot to preserve the stew for a couple of days. Like Italians, coastal Croatians use a tomato base in this particular dish. And next up is the buzara. This simple dish of mussels in a wine broth with garlic and breadcrumbs is popular all along the Croatian coast. Buzara means stew, and the preparation is similar to the way the French make moules marinière. Now, something to go down with these delicacies are the drinks you would find in Croatia. The national drink, which is rakija, is shared with other Balkan countries. But the Croatian way is to drink a herbal rakija known as travarica at the start of a meal with some dried fish. Known as travarica at the start of a meal with some dried figs. It's packed quite a punch with up to 40% alcohol content, and potentially even more than that if you're trying someone's homemade batch, and it's the country's most popular beverage. Each region of Croatia has its own take on this classic fruit brandy. If you're heading to Istria, you'll definitely want to try rakija made with honey or misteletto. While over in Dubrovnik, it's made with anise. In Dalmatia, you'll find it's made with walnuts. And on the island of Rur, the local specialty is with myrtle. And another very special and interesting drink you can also find at Croatia is its wine. It's not just about the rakija. Croatia also produces its own wine, which you definitely want to try over a delicious local dish. And if wine and spirits aren't for you, then fear not. Croatia has plenty of its own beer for you to try. The most famous is the sponsor of the country's national football team, and it's called Ozutsko. And another popular one is Karlovačko, and that's owned by Heineken. But it's food and drink enough to be merry without some music. Well, for me, I don't think that's Tamburica is a folk music, and it is the most common and most popular music genre of traditional music in Croatia. In fact, it is the name of the lute instrument, which also pronounced as tamburica. It is something between Ukrainian bandura and the Italian mandolin with a high-pitched timbre. It is something between Ukrainian bandura and the Italian mandolin with a high-pitched timbre that gives Croatian folk music a different feeling compared to other Balkan countries' music. The name has roots in Turkish language, and it is said that first it came to Bosnia in 14th century. This traditional music instrument has many different versions in different sizes. The ensembles of tamburica started to shape from 18th century, and little by little many composers started to compose for these ensembles. Most of the time, the main themes for this type of folk music are about love and happy village life. Today, most of tamburica music are a combination of folk and pop. And then we have the clapper. This genre of folk music is a cappella, which means it is a vocal music without instrument. Traditionally, it is a group of men, these days also women sometimes, who sing about love and loss in harmony. It has roots in liturgical church singing. Clapper is registered as UNESCO's list of intangible heritage. It is also one of the most common type of Croatian folk music. I hope you enjoyed that music, that beautiful Croatian music. But unfortunately, we have to step on the brake pad here because this is all we have for you today. But we'll be back here next week. Same time, same station. It is still Exotic Places.
public know about.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your Premium Talk Radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
It's exactly 41 minutes now after 11, and you're still listening to Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. I have joining me in the studio a representative of You Fit Fly. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. My name is Tokwe.
Tokwe, good to have you. So let's start off. What is You Fit Fly?
Okay, You Fit Fly is a travel destination management company where we help people who want to travel within and outside Nigeria. And then we have services. We render services like flight reservation.
All right, flight reservation and what else?
Flight reservation, hotel reservation, airport transfer, international education consult, visa counseling, and tour packaging.
All right, so you have to break down what those things are.
Okay, let me start with international education consult. Right now, we have partnership with schools in some European countries where you get to school abroad at an affordable price. We have partnership with Poland, with schools in Poland, Ukraine, Germany, Turkey, Italy, and some other countries. When you school in these countries, you get a Schengen visa, and you get a working permit where you get to work as a student and earn, and you work for 20 hours in a week and 40 hours when school is not in section. Then we also have partnership with schools in UK and Canada, and also in the USA. So that's about the school stuff for now.
Okay.
Then we also have tour packages. We have one in Zanzibar. Then we have another one that's coming up in Kenya and Dubai, where you get to travel to 2 countries for the price of one. Then you spend 3 days in Kenya and 4 days in Dubai.
3 days in Kenya, 4 days in Dubai for just one tour package.
Yes,
how much is that?
670.
When is that happening?
It's happening in March.
In March. Okay, good. But there's one that is coming up now. I think that's the one that has been on the front burner, and that's for Zanzibar. So tell us a bit about that.
Okay, Zanzibar is an island in Tanzania. Then we're taking people here to explore, to have a feel of nature. Then you get to go to beautiful places in Zanzibar. You get to have breakfast, you get to have city tours, beach games, special love packages, hotel stay, return flight ticket, tourist visa, a Valentine buffet, a beach party, barbecue dinner, and airport transfer for 649,999 naira.
All in Zanzibar.
Yes.
Okay. So they're not paying any extra charges. This is all they have to pay. 600 and how much? 640. So let's just say 650,000 naira for 8 days and 8 nights.
For 7 nights and 8
7
days.
nights and 8 days.
Yes.
Okay. So how do they go about it? For people who are interested, what should they do?
You could make part payments. Like, you don't have to pay everything at once. Just secure your slots and let's know you're interested. And for couples, there's also a discount rather for couples. So you could pay in part. Maybe you pay now, then you pay the remaining parts before the trip, on or before the trip rather. Then you get to enjoy all these things.
All right. So how do they? I don't understand. Pay part. Explain that. So, like, how much? I should come and give you 20,000 naira.
No. You can just say, okay, you can start with 100 or 150.
Okay.
Then,
but make sure that you pay before the end of this week. Next week.
Yeah,
when?
because the trip is
on the 13th.
On the 13th of February.
So when is the last date for paying parts?
I think this week.
That's this week has
This week
ended.
has
So
ended.
we win next week. It's only from now to the 6th of February, perhaps, because 6th of February is next weekend.
Yes, so it will be advisable, Sha, to try and hurry up and pace.
I think what is advisable is that they contact you. So how do they do that?
You call our number. It's 070-350-92873. Let me repeat the number again. It's 070-350-92873. Here, when you call, you can make inquiries about school packages depending on which country you want to go to, or make inquiries about our tours. And please don't forget to do flight reservations, hotel reservations, airport transfer, educational consult, visa counseling, and tour packaging.
All right. So when you do, you said you do for pilgrimage. Tell me a bit about that, because a lot of people don't understand why they need to use it when it comes to pilgrimage. Why?
Thank you. Now, there's a trip to Jerusalem. This helps you, let's say, know more about Christ, in quotes. Yeah, you get to know where Christ was buried, where he was born, the river Jordan, and also you get to see these things for yourself, and maybe to help your imagination, because definitely when you're reading the Bible, you must have imagined how
Those
all
places
these
are.
places look like. So now it helps you have a feel, and okay, yeah, this is where Christ was born, and then maybe you have some kind of connection with those places. That is what this trip is going to help you do. This trip is happening in April, and it's for our older people, like parents, pastors, bishops, and our senior peeps in Christ.
Okay.
So on this trip, you get to meet other people like you too, and you have broad conversations about Christ and all. You get to do all these things and more on the trip.
Okay, so fantastic. So apart from just visiting, you do a lot more enlightenment for them if they use your package to travel to these places.
Yes, and let me, before I forget, for the Zanzibar trip, you get a free visa application to the US.
How does that work? I don't understand.
Okay. When you travel with us to Zanzibar, you don't have to pay your application fee for your visa application fee for the US. It's free. The fact that you traveled with us on this trip, you get to apply for a US visa free of charge. We're not taking any money from you. That's it.
All right. And so are you on social media? How can we follow your handles so we can see some of these visuals for ourselves?
Okay. On Facebook, it's at YouFitFly. Twitter at YouFitFly. And on Instagram, it's at YouFitFly. Our office is at first floor Ozzy Mall, opposite First Bank, 49 Iwofe Road, off at the George by Pepperoni, Port Harcourt.
Okay,
this is where you can find us. First floor Ozzy Mall, opposite First Bank, 49 Iwofe Road, off at the George by Pepperoni, Port Harcourt.
All right, and your website?
www.youfitfly.com. And the number again is 070-350-92873.
Repeat your number.
It's 070-350-92873.
All right, maybe we must reiterate this Zanzibar trip, because that's the one that has a shorter time notice. The trip is for the 13th of February. If you have your loved ones, if you have your friends, or if you're just looking for a great way to go spend time. I mean, everybody had a hectic 2020, and they're looking for maybe to start the year, you know, to declutter your mind. Great place to do it will be somewhere like Zanzibar. And you're saying that for people who are interested, all they need to pay is 650,000 naira for 7 days and 8 nights, all expense paid, meaning your trip there has been taken care of, your trip back has been taken care of, your accommodation is taken care of, your breakfast is taken care of, and you're going to have some visits to certain spots, that is taken care of.
Yeah, we could even do supply packages for...
People are doing too much though. For 650, add some money. Tell them said so.
We just want them to like calm down and enjoy luxury at an affordable price.
This is really affordable. And you're saying, is there something about family? I heard you say something about family. Was it for this trip?
Yeah, family too can go on this trip. Valentine's Day. So
Fantastic. So, and you also said, look, it might look as if 650 is plenty, even though this is heavily subsidized. We're also going further to take part money from you. So if you have 150, if you have 200,000, now is the time to sink that in.
Yes.
Do that and call immediately to know how many days you have left for that window. So you not be thinking you have up to a week and you find out that it's just 3 days on the clock. So if that's what you want to do, the best thing to do now is to call these numbers.
070-350-92873. That's the number, and we'll say it again. It's 070-350-92873.
All right then. So I think I like the idea behind it. This is just to let everybody know that you can actually fly. I mean, I asked a couple of times you've been here why you fit fly, and that's to let all Nigerians know that this is not just for people who have a lot of money, and that it's not a thing of luxury, so to say, that you want to travel. And the reason why this platform exists is to be able to ensure that even, you know, the poorer Nigerians can have that opportunity to visit places. And the education package you have just blows my mind. 1.5 to less than that can get you to go study outside this country. This is unbelievable. And when I was speaking to one of your reps who was here, they also said, you know what, and because it's a Schengen visa, during the holidays you can visit other countries while you're there. So if you have, if you're supposed to go to Spain, perhaps, so I don't know which covers, you could find yourself in Croatia.
Yes,
you could
go to Czech Republic.
You can go
to Lithuania, Italy, Turkey.
Could I go to Denmark?
I think so.
All right, she doesn't know. But we'll call.
Well,
Just call and confirm. But it's amazing to know that while you are in this country, you can visit a lot of other European countries under that one visa that you had. And then the fact that you can actually school and work too.
Yes, yes. As a student, you get to work for 20 hours in a week. And when you're on holiday, you get to work for 40 hours. And it's not...
I feel like I've been cheated out. I should have learned about this before I started going to my university.
You can still go for PhD.
Thank you very much. I'm too old now. My brain is not functioning. I wish I had learned about this to know that I could have done that for about 1.5 million.
Okay, in Turkey, you could school for less than that.
I want to go to... In fact, I'm going to Turkey. So what are the numbers? Let's say that before we leave again.
It's 070-350-92873.
All right. And then you said you're also on socials. You can catch them up on
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at YouFitFly.
YouFitFly. And it's spelled
UFITFLY.
UFITFLY. YouFitFly. One word. And you can check out all these things. And if you see the pictures of what I said about Zanzibar, you'll be thinking, what do you need to sell to complete that 650 right now? Because, I mean, it's a giveaway. Pretty much seems like that for me. And you want to wonder how this is possible. Because on your own, if you check how much the ticket is to go to Zanzibar and come back, you realize you don't know where they're getting the funding for the 8 days you have to stay there and the breakfast you have to eat, the 7 days you have to stay there and 8 nights you're spending, and the breakfast that you're eating and all of that. It's mind-boggling. But here you are. These people are here to thrill you to an unforgettable Valentine trip. Plug in. That's your best bet this year. All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, ma'am, for having me.
All right. This is where we wrap up on this segment. But do stay on top of the hour 12. After that, we'll come with Talk Your Own Niger. It's a BBC production. Aired here on Today 95.1 FM.
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
This president's failed.
It's about the future of this country.
We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back.
You asked us to vote you into that position so you can bring about that
solution.
So when you vote me, then you sleep.
Let me see if I can take another phone call. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
What makes a policeman to be able to feed is the gun he's holding. They use their gun to extort money from people.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
No longer news that we are truly the voice of the people.
Am I not a slave in Nigeria?
I refuse. If you are,
you're a slave. Let's not get to that now. So the Nigerian
You spot the difference now?
Peace is a situation where there is no war or violence in a society. Peace allows wealth to accumulate and the society to advance.
Through peace, generations of wealth, education, technology can build up, thereby making people very prosperous and happy.
Without peace, there will be violence, war, and underdevelopment in our society. The most disadvantageous peace is far better than the most just war. Let us embrace peace for a better society.
This message is brought to you by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM.
It's what I pray for all around the world. It's what I pray for all my.
Every child deserves to be happy. Every child deserves to laugh. Years after Nigeria adopted international prohibitions on child labor into law, millions of children in the country are still engaged in child labor activities. The International Labour Organization estimates that about 25% of Nigeria's 80 million children under the age of 14 are now in the workforce. Every child deserves a childhood. Let us all rise in every hood to give every child, regardless creed, belief, or tribe, a pleasant childhood filled with laughter. This message is brought to you by the voice of the people, Today 95.1 FM.
Not so easy. Not so easy. Ice. Not so. J Slick. Hypertech. J Slick. Hypertech. Hypertech. Aye, let's get down. Let's get down. Let's get down. Underground. My people. Hey, my people. My people. My people. My people. My people. Listen up. Listen up. See, I stronghold on my child. In a be, as it take me before. As I open the door, a different type of cats. I just the sea on the floor. Jungle down my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. No time for caricature. Jungle down my jaw. It on my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. It on my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. It on my jaw. No time for caricature. As you can see, the doors are open and the stakes are getting higher. And you can tell all across the land the dance floors are so on fire. I said, party sharper guy, you know, say we know they tire. I'ma keep moving on till the day that I meet the Messiah. But until then, no time to lazy, yo. If you know you want to jump, whoa. No time to slack, yeah. If you want to dare on top, whoa. Enjoy yourself, whoa. You cannot forget to look around, whoa. I don't want no thanks, yo. I just want you to capitalize on the fact, hey, jungle down my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. No time for caricature. Jungle down my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. No time for caricature. Oh yeah, make you just dance in my shoes 100 miles. See what your frown will turn to smiles. See that the jungle is ready for you, so start to check if you're ready for the jungle. Do like if you're ready to become a superstar. Anyway, it's happening this way. You are like a villain on the Barbara and Malibu. I cruise on a yacht in Monaco too. I straight talk from Africa to you. Anyway, you live in God, film trick too. You will be straightly deceived if you're not sensible. To greatly achieve, you must be Mr. Capable. A stronghold on my jaw. In a be, as it take me before. As I open the door, a different type of cats. I just the sea on the floor. Jungle down my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. No time for caricature. Jungle down my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. Jungle down my jaw. No time for caricature.
In the jungle, we not the fear, we not panic. The vibe when they come off our mouths is reality.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered on air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
This is Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News.
Hello and good afternoon. Here is the world news on your premium talk radio today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. I am Annie Abdul Salam. In the headlines, international court orders Shell to compensate farmers affected by oil spillage in rivers and Bayelsa states. River State government donates police station in Mokpei in Gokana local government area to the police authorities. Presidency alerts Nigerians over plans by certain individuals to launch a smear campaign against President Muhammadu Buhari. And on the foreign scene, South Africa's spy agency accused of spending hundreds of millions of dollars on illegal undercover operations to protect former President Jacob Zuma. And now the details. The appeal court at The Hague in the Netherlands has ordered Royal Dutch Shell to pay compensation to victims of two oil-polluted communities in the Niger Delta. The International Court yesterday ordered Shell to clean up the polluted communities and restore the livelihoods of the affected victims. The court was, however, silent on the case of Ikot Adaudo in Akwa Ibom State because of the unclarity of the facts. Acting Executive Director of Environmental Rights Action Chima Williams, told newsmen after the judgment monitored virtually from Port Harcourt that Shell should obey the order of the court, pay compensation to the affected communities, and end all litigations regarding the matter. Williams also said The Hague will calculate the compensation claims payable by Royal Dutch Shell to the affected victims.
Pay compensation to these three victims from two communities, but also to ensure that no further spill occurs in these communities. And this is the high point of the judgment. The work that we have done with the communities of the Niger Delta in terms of trying to see that the multinational shell that has destroyed our environment and our source of livelihoods are held accountable.
Victims of the oil spill in Goi Ogoni, Eric Doe, and Chief Fedlis Ogoru of Oruma communities expressed delight over the long-awaited judgment.
I am very, very much happy over the judgment which I have just been informed. For the many years, it has made me so poor, and then I'm under suffering, even right now. My condition, which still had made it impossible for me to survive with my family and personally my body itself, I am suffering. And today, I have just got a very successful judgment.
I have no monetary idea. I have no knowledge of how much that is tagged at the compensation. But what I know is that the environment is going to be restored so that I can now go back, reinvest in that place and create job opportunities for my people. It's not the money that matters, but clean environment and reduction of the spill is what matters.
Our correspondent Victor Aziama reports that the judgment, which was monitored virtually from Port Harcourt, comes after 13 years of painstaking litigation where Goi community in Ogoni River State and Oruma community in the Bayelsa State dragged Royal Dutch Shell to court in 2008. The community sought the intervention of the court after several failed attempts to bring Shell to book in Nigerian courts. They sought a declaratory judgment for cleanup and compensation for loss of fishing ponds, income and livelihoods, and preventive measures to stop oil spills from Shell's aged pipelines from destroying their farmlands and fish ponds in the future. A group under the aegis of Club 401 has dragged the River State government to court over the building of multi-million naira homes for judges in the state. Club 401 in the suit filed at the Federal High Court Port Harcourt said the action of the governor is a bad precedent because it violates the rule of separation of powers as enshrined in Nigeria's 1999 constitution. The group also questioned the purchase of vehicles for members of the National Assembly, building of hostels and auditorium for the Nigerian Law School in Bayelsa State, building of quarters and offices of federal establishments, and hosting of conferences for professional organizations, all with River State funds. The suit is also asking the court to make declarations that Governor Nyesom Wike should stop spending funds that are not appropriate for that have not been appropriated for in the budget on things that have no economic value for River State. Attorney General of River State, Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, and the Council of Legal Education of Nigeria are all defendants in the matter. Our correspondent reports that the suit is yet to be fixed for hearing. Meanwhile, Governor Nyesom Wike has slammed those who dragged him to court over his support for the judiciary. Governor Wike, who restated his commitment for the development of the judiciary while performing the formal opening of a legal firm, L.A. Meaty, L.A. Meaty and Company in Port Harcourt, said he will not be distracted. He said an ill-informed lawyer who does not have a grasp of how budgets function and what the role of government is in creating conducive environment for administration of justice.
We see why they say the legal profession is part of the problems we have in this country. Just this morning, my Attorney General came to me that one lawyer in Port Harcourt went to court against the state government that we have no business in building houses for judges. We have no business in providing cars for judges. We have no business in building courts for federal institutions, and that I have no right to even contribute the structures in Nigerian law school. As a lawyer from River State, what will be our contribution to administration of justice when the structures are dilapidated and it's saying that they are not budgeted for? I didn't know that the lawyer had my own budget. I don't even know that I don't have it in the budget. People who are ignorant about budget will just wake up in the morning and tell you the governor has no right to donate money somewhere. They don't even know what is called budgeting. They make all kinds of allegations without having the true facts. It's really unfortunate. But the lawyer will go out and tell people all those things are illegal. It's unfortunate. That's why I say part of the problem we have is the legal profession. Everybody knows the law, even when they don't know the law.
President of Port Harcourt branch of Nigeria Bar Association, NBA, Prince Nyekwere, urged Governor Wike not to be wary in his support to the judiciary, which has enhanced the process of administration of justice in the country. The River State government has donated a fully built and furnished police station located at Popi in Gokana local government area to police authorities. The governor of River State, while handing over the police station, offices and living quarters to the Commissioner of Police, Joseph Mokan, said the facility was built 2 years ago but was vandalized by hoodlums. Governor Wike, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Tamidana Gogo, said the governor embarked upon the project again to ensure the security of lives and properties. Receiving the police station from the River State government, outgoing CP Joseph Mokan said he will ensure that a tactical unit of the police arm will be deployed to man the station. He called on the governor to continue to support the police with logistics to enhance operations. 1 year, 3 months after President Muhammadu Buhari signed the 30,000 naira minimum wage into law, workers in Rivers are yet to start receiving the new wage. This is due to the delay by the River State government to implement the law. The development last year led to an industrial disharmony between the organized labor in the state and the state government before the national leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress intervened. 4 months down the line, civil servants in River State have continued to wonder why the state government is yet to commence the implementation, despite promising to do so last September. The chairman of the River State chapter of the Nigerian Civil Service Union, Chuks Osuma, who spoke in an interview with our correspondent Chinedu Iwuna, ruled out plans for any industrial action, but expressed hope that the state governor, Nyesom Wike, will implement the new wage this year.
The governor, in his own wisdom, met with them and agreed that there will be a tripartite committee to look into the issues raised by the organized labor. And since then, the governor, to be frank, the governor has not actually done as he promised, like the issue of the tripartite committee. I don't know what is holding him. But we believe because there is no way he can, most states has implemented, and I know he's a man that has a listening ear. If not, that we don't know what actually his problem is with the labor. But as a father who is the number one man of the civil service, you should know that you can maybe, no matter whatever thing you do affects the entirety of the civil servants, thousands of them in the state.
Also speaking, the River State chairman of the NLC, Beatrice Utubon, noted that the union has continued to call the attention of the state governor on the issue on minimum wage, but to no avail.
We are not resting on our oars. We have still, that this new year, we have also sent another reminder to government. We have also informed the national. There's no step we take. I would not inform our national so that nobody will be taken aback. The latest snag we have for now is this issue of lockdown, and from level 13 down should not come to work. All of us, you know, as I do, that for several years, workers have not been promoted. How many workers are from level 14 up? And so even when you want to go for this action, the whole essence will be watered down. So we are looking at other strategies. There are so many other ways that we can also go about this. Ours is a democratic organization. You don't just jump up to do things on your own. And that's why when people call Beatrice to it's like I am doing this, I laugh because they don't know the modus operandi of labor. If they know, they will know that I'm only a figurehead. What I am is that I do what the people say I should do. And because they gave me a mandate, I have to respect their decisions. And so I go all out to implement what they said I should do.
The African Action Congress AAC in Obiakpo local government area of River State has conducted its council local government primary elections with Frank Romeo emerging as the chairmanship candidate of the party. According to the result announced at the end of the primaries, Chinda Beauty emerged as the Ward 5 councillorship candidate, Ogbonda Chinedu for Ward 6, Oku Amadi Godwin Chizuma, Ward 7, while Chinda Chimangpam emerged as Ward 10 councillorship candidate. Gospel Anthony emerged as Ward 11 councillorship candidate, while Ogbonda Collins for Ward 12, Chibueze Ehio, Ward 13, Ejeku Eyinda, Ward 14, Eyinda Edwin for Ward 15, Emmanuel Chikwe Chike, Ward 16, while Loki Monochimso Amadi is now Ward 17 councillorship candidate of the AAC. The state chairman of the AAC, Frank Romeo, and his deputy, Wisdom Amadi, who addressed newsmen at the end of the process, commended party members for the cooperation leading to the transparency of the primaries, just as he encouraged all the local governments to borrow a leaf from Obiakpo.
That we are here to give a victory to Romeo for the free and fair election, which have been done so successfully. There was no problem. Everything will just go so smoothly.
A total success. And I believe that this success is enshrined by the Almighty God himself. Because whatsoever that happens must have been done by him in the spiritual for it to be physicalized. So we thank God. And we also urge our people to follow suit in other elections for it to also come successful.
River State has recorded 31 new cases of the novel coronavirus. This was contained in a report published by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC. In the new report by the NCDC, Nigeria recorded 1,114 new cases with 27 deaths. The new cases were recorded in 21 states and the Federal Capital Territory, with Lagos still leading with 408 new infections. With the record, River State now has 5,206 confirmed cases of coronavirus, out of which 691 are still in isolation, while 79 have died of the virus. You're listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sport stories. Stay with us.
Day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the World News here on Today 95.1 FM. It's 13 minutes after 12. The presidency has again raised alarm over what it called planned orchestrated smear campaign against President Muhammadu Buhari. Special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, made the claim in a statement titled Unrelenting Plot to Wage Smear Campaigns Against President Buhari. The fresh alarm is Adesina's second in about 1 month, having issued a similar statement in December 2020 in which he alleged a plan to smear the image of the president and portray him as not being in charge of the affairs of the government. In his latest statement, Adesina claimed that the planned campaign of calumny against the president is scheduled to be launched anytime soon through editorials and purported special investigative stories. Presidential spokesman alleged that the plan was designed to further degenerate tension in the land by portraying the president as pandering to ethnic and other primordial tendencies, contrary to his pledge to belong to all Nigerians. A parent of one of the abducted Chibok girls has confirmed that his daughter, identified as Halima, has escaped from her captors. Chairman of the group of parents of the abducted Chibok girls, Ali Nkeki, confirmed this to newsmen. He said Halima's father personally confirmed to him that he spoke with his daughter on telephone and told him she was with the military in Maiduguri. Nkeki, however, said they have not been officially contacted. They have not been officially contacted. Neither do they have details of the circumstances surrounding Halima's escape. The acting head of Department of Animal and Environmental Biology at the University of Port Harcourt, Tambeke Nonu Baraokoko, has called on government at all levels to set out modalities in the management and utilization of animal waste. Nonu, in an interview with our correspondent, Priye Zogo, noted that cow dung can be used as feeds for insects, which are later transformed into fish feeds. He also advised local government authorities to provide easement areas for rent to any interested herder to avoid open grazing, adding that the federal government should not force the states in implementing colonies, but see it as a way of generating income.
Government, even at local government level, can also buy what is called easement areas. These are areas earmarked by the local government or the state government for developmental projects. Some of these areas can also be rented out for raising of cows and all that. So what government does is to go to privately owned lands and buy. In most places, federal government gives support for easement development projects. So the government will now buy from individuals and now convert the land for this type of purposes, and then now ensure that these privately owned people rent those places, for instance, and through their policies to ensure that the cows does not go from street to street. They have concentrated in the place. Why, in the first place, why would they go from one area to the other? Is it not in search of food? So if you now cultivate those food that's there, those species of crops that have been fed upon, or plants, or housed by these animals, if they are cultivated in such an area.
And now to the foreign scene. South Africa's spy agency has been accused of spending hundreds of millions of dollars on illegal undercover operations to protect former President Jacob Zuma from corruption investigations. The allegations, which was made by whistleblowers at the corruption inquiry, include attempts to influence judges and newspapers. Two whistleblowers and other witnesses have given details of a systemic plot to turn South Africa's state security agency into something almost like a private army for former President Zuma. During his decade in power, Zuma faced and still faces multiple allegations of corruption, but a judge-led inquiry is now revealing the extent to which it is alleged Zuma used state institutions to protect himself during his time as the president. And to sports, the Oyo State government has declared its intention to host the next edition of the National Sports Festival. Chairman of the Oyo State Sports Council, Benga Dewusi, made this known to leaders of the state chapter of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, who paid him a courtesy visit. Dewusi said that political leaders and sports administrators had communicated their desire to the Minister of Sports, Sunday Dare. Oyo State hosted the National Sports Festival in 1976. Sports Council boss also said preparations were ongoing with the upgrade of the Lekan Salami Stadium, some mini stadia in 6 geopolitical zones, as well as sports arenas in the state capital. To end the news, here's the summary of the major stories. The International Court on The Hague has ordered Shell to compensate farmers affected by oil spillage in Rivers and Bayelsa states. River State government has donated a police station located at Popi in Gokana local government area to police authorities. You heard that the presidency has alerted Nigerians about plans by certain individuals to launch a smear campaign against President Muhammadu Buhari. And on the foreign scene, South Africa's spy agency has been accused of spending hundreds of millions of dollars on illegal undercover operations to protect former President Jacob Zuma. And that was the news as edited by Ifunanya Obema Ndukwe. For comments and inquiries, please call 0818-389-2850 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories at www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget you need to take responsibility. Do so by washing your hands frequently with soap under running water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your face in high-contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. I am Annie Abdul Salam. Have a good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Every day on Today 95.1 FM, there's always an opportunity to comment and air your views on our various programs. It's not just about us, it's about you, your opinion, and your voice.
President, don't you think that it's time to step down, sir?
Be part of the story, the gist, reactions, intrigues, and the news.
President Neil Patrick Harris is calling